Alright friends, welcome to part 5 of this series where we'll be creating an Instagram clone in FlutterFlow and Supabase. So in the previous video we created the UI for edit profile page. So in this video we'll be working on the search pages now, the UI for the search pages. So we'll be creating this page as well as the accounts page. We won't be creating the audio tags and places, but we'll just be focusing on these for now. Alright, so in our FlutterFlow project, let's create a new page. And we'll name this search page. So we'll just create a new blank page since we're doing stuff from scratch. We'll delete the app bar and let's see how the search page looks like. So firstly, the search page consists of this sort of header over here with the search bar and the back page. So in our column, let's create a row, and in the row we'll add an icon for the back icon as well as text field for the search bar. So let's quickly change this icon to back icon, and let's choose some back, this chevron left around it. For the text field, we also can style it. So for the style of the text field, we can just go ahead and add some border radius. So we can scroll down all the way until the input decoration properties over here. So we want to add some border radius, which will be over here. Let's try 32, and it should curve inwards like that. So now it's curvy. Let's also change the color of the text field because now it's a bit hard to see. So you can scroll down back to input decoration properties, and for the fill color, let's change it to a sort of gray. That is way too gray. Be alternate. I think that is fine for now. We also want to add some padding to the row itself. So let's add padding of 24 and right padding of 24. And let's also add some distance between the back icon as well as the text field. So with the icon selected, let's add padding of 8. Alright, looks good. Maybe for the row, we don't add so much padding. We change this to 60. Yep. Then for this text field, we can also give it some hint text. So we can scroll down all the way to hint text, and we can, instead of it being text field, we'll just say search for anything. Now let's work on the actual search results. So for the UI of the search results, you can see that there's sort of this option for you to choose whether you want for you or accounts. So if you click on for you, it'll show this grid view with all the posts. But if you click on accounts, it'll show the accounts over here. So FlutterFlow actually has a very useful widget which does this exact functionality, and that widget is called the tab bar widget. So in our column, we can add a widget and we can search for tab bar, and we want to choose this tab bar widget. You see that there are certain tabs here, which is exactly how it looks like in the actual Instagram app. So for our app, we actually only want 2 tab bars, the for you as well as the accounts, to make it more simple. Alright, so to delete the third tab over here, we can actually just go under the tab bar widget. We can delete this last tab and it will delete the third tab. To add a new tab to the tab bar widget, we'll just click on this tab bar. Under active tab, you can click on the drop down and there's an option to add a new tab, which will just add the third tab over here. But we don't need 3 tabs, we only need 2, so we'll just delete the third tab. Now we have 2 tabs. So for the first tab, we can click on tab, which will click on this tab widget. We can change the text to for you. And for the second one, we can just change it to accounts. We can also change the style of the tab bar. So with the tab bar widget selected, we can scroll all the way down to these properties on the right hand side over here. So you can change stuff like the font size of the selected text, as well as the font size of the unselected text. You can change the tab bar style. So currently is indicator, which has this sort of indicator line at the bottom for the one that is selected. Go back to tab bar. If we choose a different one like toggle button, you can see that it's sort of a different style button, but I think for us indicator is good. You can change the color of this as well. Let us choose secondary text. So now it's sort of a gray indicator. Maybe we want to change the color to sort of a lighter gray. So under the indicator color, we want to change it to maybe alternate. You can also change the weight of the line. So if we increase the weight to, let's say, 10, you see that it's a very thick line, but I think 2 will do for now. And I think we need a deeper shade of gray. So I think that's a good color. Alright, so now we have this working. So what is special about the tab bar widget is that each tab comes with its own page and own column. So you can see on the left hand side over here, the tab bar has 2 tabs with 2 tab pages. So this first tab page corresponds to this tab, while this second tab page corresponds to this tab. So in our first tab page, which is the For You tab, we want to click on this column and we want to delete this column and we want to add a grid view. Now the grid view is very similar to the one that we have previously implemented in our profile page. So we can go ahead and just copy this grid view, go back to our search page, and under this tab bar, we can paste it here. So you can see that there are multiple posts. Let's add some padding. That looks good. And now if I click on this accounts tab, you can see that the posts are gone and the posts will only appear for the For You tab. So yep, that's basically it for this page, for this For You tab. Now for the accounts tab will look something like this. So how we can implement this is for the For You tab. This is also a good practice to rename your widgets. So I'll just rename this to accounts tab, and I'll rename this to For You tab. Now click on the accounts tab, and in the tab page, we already have a column here. So inside this column, I want to add a container. And this container will contain a row of the profile picture, the account name, as well as sort of this, I think this is the account bio or account username. So with our container, we want to change this width to infinite. We want to get rid of the fill color, and we want to set the height to take up the height of the content inside the container. Inside the container, we then want to add a row, and we want to add a circle image for the profile picture. And inside the row, we also need to add the name as well as the username. So that can be done in the column, and inside this column, we'll add 2 text. So we can duplicate this text. So now we have 2 text over here. Let's decrease the size of this image to 40 perhaps. Yep, that looks good. And for the first text, this will be the username. So we'll just change the text to username for now. And let's change the font weight to semi-bold. The next one will be, I think this is sort of a display name, I believe. So we'll just name it as display name for now. Yep. And this looks like a bit smaller. Maybe let's change it to label small. Yep. And I also want these 2 text widgets to be aligned to the left. So I can click on the column, and on the cross-axis alignment, I'll align left. So now they're aligned. Let's also add some padding to the row. So let's add padding of 16, and let's add padding between the circle profile image as well as these text widgets. Alright, that looks good. Let's also add some padding to the right and the bottom as well. So now if we duplicate these containers, it'll look something like this. Yep, that looks good. We can Ctrl Z to remove the duplicated containers, and let us just change the name of this container. Alright, that looks good. So we are actually basically done now. The last step that we have to do is we have to add the bottom nav bar. So click on the root search page, and we can enable this show on nav bar toggle to be on. For this, what does it look like? It's just a magnifying glass icon. So the label we can just name as search. The label is not that important since we're not showing the label. For the nav bar icon, we can search for search. Search for search. You can choose any one that you want. Let's choose this one, I guess. Yep, and that's it. Why do we have two profile pages? I just realized. This is the home page. It's because of the edit profile page. So actually, we shouldn't show the nav bar on the edit profile page. Yep, so everything's coming together well. One more thing I want to do is I want to interchange this search bar icon with the profile page icon. So how we can do that is we actually have to go to settings and integrations, and under nav bar and app bar, we can reorder the page icons here. So we can shift this up, and now it's shifted and changed. Alright, so that wraps it up for today's video. The main takeaway for this video is the tab bar widget, which is commonly used in many applications and is very useful. So in the next video, we'll be creating the final UI for our post screen. So this post screen will allow us to upload and post a new post, and it also includes the camera functionality over here. So we'll be creating the UI for both of these screens, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you in the next video.